Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Back to polisher reviews, and we'll walk away from the store, bought polishers, and go to some Amazon found polishers. And the first one here, a Uaoaii, is I have no idea how to pronounce that, but this one here is a kit with a lot of stuff for a little over $100. So if this pans out to have a nice build to it, and if it performs, would be a nice purchase. So let's start with this one and review it. In the kit comes with a lot of stuff, and you'll see this kit showing most of this stuff on Amazon in the link, and I'll put the link down below as well. From the sand discs, 2000 grit, to wool pads, to Velcro hook and loop pads, to your bonnet cover pads, all types of pads, flat foam pads, waffle pads, and even this wash mitt, an apron, and a carrying bag. I also wanted to see if this one works because it only weighs like 2.5 pounds. We'll get the exact weight when we do our closer look and the dimensions, but with shoulders that are as bad as mine, anything that's light and as light as this, and it feels paper light, it's just almost hard to believe this thing would work. So we'll get the batteries charged up. We're going to have a closer look, and I'll show you all of the features of this polisher. We'll demonstrate if it works or not. It does come with 2 batteries and a charger as well. And then we will do an inside look and break the polisher down and see how it is built. Every spare inch that they found space in this box, they packed it with something that has to do with detailing and polishing. And finally, the carrying bag here for everything that was just unboxed. Not a whole lot of technical data to retrieve on the polisher, but let me pass along what I have found. Again, the brand is Uaoaii Cordless Polisher, 8mm throw, and the backing plate is 6 inches, RPM from 2,000 to 4,500, the weight, 2 kilograms, and we're going to find out here a little over 2.5 pounds. And the operating voltage, 12 volts, 2 amps. And with the battery now plugged in, one of them, it still feels very light. Some of the features, the heat vents on both sides, there is an electric interface and then the power button. That power button goes on and then the interface comes to life and it starts to operate the polisher. A Phillips head holding the backing plate on, and you can see the vents that will expel hot air and keep your pads cool as well. That's good to see. So far, so good. Let's get some dimensions and measurements. These are important for those that are looking for a polisher for a certain job that can fit in a certain area, under a certain area. Here are all your dimensions. Now this is, I believe it's a given that this polisher would be geared toward those that, you know, in the videos where I mentioned if you're going to do a coating, at least do a polish, cleaner polish, even if it's by hand. Well, here's something you can pick up that's relatively inexpensive that may last a correction or two, and you don't have to do it by hand then. And if you don't do anything when it comes to correction after that, you won't be at a huge loss. So another important reason I am reviewing these more obscure, cheaper polishers. So within 25 minutes, we get the green indicator, and that battery's ready to go, so we'll swap it out and head outside. We have a test panel waiting. First, we're going to see if this actually works. And we're going to use some of these sand discs. We're going to see if it can sand and then polish out sand marks as well. Let's fire up the unit. First, you push the power button here on the nose of the polisher. I know it's hard to see here. Let's go inside so you can see this interface. And I also have the sticker on it that protects it as well. And you'll see the interface come to life. Hard to see with the camera here. It makes it flicker. It makes it look goofy. But again, from 2000 to 4500. And we don't have really much information on the little motor, the brushless motor inside that makes it work. So this is how they broke it down. From 2000 to 2500 OPM, you're good for waxing and buffing. From 3000 to 3500, you're good for polishing and cleaning. From 4000 to 4500, you can then use it to remove paint defects and some oxidation. And again, these paint defects, they're going to be minor. So that's the sound of the polisher. It's not overbearing, it's not hard on the ears, and it's smooth. I mean, it doesn't have a huge motor in there, and it doesn't have a huge throw to cause vibration, and everything seems to be balanced as long as you're using everything that came with the kit. And as you can see, with the milky substance that were built up on the panel, it can sand. So now let's see if it can polish out sand marks. So we'll swap out the sand disc for a polishing pad, put our compound on there, and get to work. Now this thing is not going to have a ton of power, and it's not going to scream and get stuff done, projects done in a hurry. But as you'll notice here, with a little bit of pressure, it doesn't stall, and that's a good sign. It just keeps on oscillating and rotating at the same time, and that helps get the work done in a timely manner anyways. But again, this thing doesn't have a ton of power. It's not going to burn through that clear coat quickly. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that will keep a lot of you out there out of trouble burning through clear coat on an edge or on the peak of a body line. Now this panel is a mess, all kinds of dents and hail damage, and well, that's why it's not on the car anymore. But as you can see, it can polish, it can sand, so it can get some work done. Just don't expect to rely on it for, you know, everyday use and heavy use, because we're going to do the breakdown now, and this is where I can show you the scary part. With the Phillips head removed, you can pull off the backing plate, and it has a little bit of a washer as well, so that'll keep it away from the shroud. And what's neat is it has a fan in here, so it will expel hot air and keep your pads cooler. It's what's under there that is Well, I'll let you guys be the judge and let me know what you feel about this. This is a belt-driven polisher sander. Now, I love innovation. I love new approaches to things, but when I see this setup, it reminds me of timing belts and timing chains in vehicles that I have been through many and is a little worrisome to me. Let's break this down a little bit further. With some Phillips head screws removed, we can pull the casing apart, get the battery out of there, and we'll be able to see the inner works of this polisher. There's also a code here that lets you know what type of tampered plastic, the shatterproof plastic they use for the casing, and you can do your research there to see what it is. Every polisher will have that somewhere. And then we can see a vertical mounted motor. Compared to the horizontal mounted motors in other polishers. This is brushless and goes down to the boat, from the belt to the counterbalance. Things I don't like, things I like to see. We have a sealed bearing, and the motor's nice, and the wiring's clean, but there's no coating on the boards here for protection at all from dust, and you're going to get a lot of dust sanding and polishing. The overall build is iffy, just things thrown together. We're going to get it back together and get it running again. And there's no problems whatsoever. Again, quiet, not a ton of vibration. So who would this polisher be recommended for? Now, I personally would say for the driveway enthusiast that wants to try protecting their car on their own and wants to do the prep without doing it by hand. And there's a machine that you could use once or twice.